So let's go back to the 3D view and then select the visible tool again. Here check the set solid box and then OK. And this is what it turns out like. Then we go back to the plan. Here we have 3 rebars in this direction. So I'll just select this, then make a cut here vertically. Alright, after that I'll decrease the depth, and then I'll open this cut up here. After that we'll pull this down here, then open this up. Alright, and then after that let's see what we have here. So this is what it turns out like. Alright, let me just take a look at the detail 0 plan. Alright, go back to the detail 1 and select this over here, and then select the rebar tool, and the rebar that we've created is right here. I can pull up the rebar settings and the placement and put this on parallel to current plane, and then I'll click here in the plan to place it, and then we open up this plan so we can adjust the dimensions just the way that we need them. Pull this over here, and then after that we go up here and pull this up to this point. Alright, there we go. And then I'll select this and stretch it and bring it over here. Alright, still dragging it, and then let's see, there we go. So you can adjust it after you've drawn it, or you can draw it again. This is all just based on your preference. Alright, then we go back to the 3D. Then we go here and select the visibility again. Then I'll click OK here, and you can see the way that it spawned here. Then we go back to the plan. It's in this point, so we'll select it and put the layout on fixed stance, and so we have 3 here. So now we need to put these 3 inside of this part so that we have 5 counting these 2. So I'll pull this here, and then I'll pull this one here, bring it inwards. And then another thing that we can do is go here and select the rebar tool and then hit the edit constraint. And so now the placing of the constraint is much better for us. So I'll select this and put in 0. Alright, then we'll pull this inwards. Then we'll select this part and this one. Alright, after that let me select this part and see if I can decrease the numbers so I can pull it inwards. Alright, maybe not. Let's see what we can do in this step. Let me just click finish for now, and then I'll select these and move them towards this direction. And then after that I'll go here and activate the constraint placement option, and then we'll go here and pull this here so it connects to the stirrup. After that we'll go to the 3D view, and here it is. This is what it looks like. Alright, then we go back to the detail 1 file, and then I'll select this, and then using the tool that we have, we'll mirror this down in comparison to the center of this part. Let me just save the changes here. Alright, then click save on this part as well. And then after that we'll go to the 3D view. So again, from the Sophistic Reinforcement tab, we'll select the visibility option and then click on OK. And there we go. So you can do the modeling of this part just as easy. And you need to be careful to do all of these steps completely and complete all of the rebars and the columns as well. So I'll click on Ctrl Z here, and then I'll proceed to open up the plan in this part. Let's see if we can get the full 3D view. Alright, so now let me just go back to the plan. So here we have some pins. So I'll go to the structure tab and then select the rebar tool, and then here I'll browse through these rebars that we have, and then I'll select the pin that we have here, then put this on the type 10 rebar, and then let me go to the cuts, then I'll select the rebar tool again, and then here I'll hit the perpendicular to cover option. Alright, change it to parallel, and then parallel here. Alright, so we won't need to put it here. So now select the perpendicular to cover option. Alright, so now because we want to put the pin in the length direction of this part, I'll go here. So this is on the middle rebar. I'll select the rebar tool. Alright, and then we'll put it here using the left click. After that, I'll select the modify tool and select this, and then I'll go to the plan. And this is the part that we're adjusting. Let me open up the 3D view. Alright, then I'll zoom in on this, and then from the substick tab, I'll put this on visible, hit OK, and if I zoom in on this, you can see where it goes. So now we need to take the viewing inside of the rebar here. So let me go back to the detail 1 file. Alright, then to the detail 0, then from the surface stick visibility menu, I'll put this on set solid and click OK, and then I'll put this on wireframe so we can get as clear of a look as possible. Alright, then select this and move it towards this direction up to this point. Then after that, we'll go to the 3D view and just move it a bit more, and there we go. Alright, let's see, this is what it turns out like. So let's go here and put the layout on fixed number as well. Oh, excuse me, put it on maximum spacing instead. After that, I'll put the spacing on each 15 centimeters, and then I'll go into the detail. Alright, this all seems fine. So after that, let's open up the 3D viewing, and here it is. So here we also have another 3 that are perpendicular to each other. So after that, I'll go here to the structure tab again and click on the rebar tool. Alright, then after that, let's see what we have here. Alright, cancel on this. So we'll put it on solid so we can easily see it. Excuse me, cancel here, so select it over here. And then we'll go here in the plan and put this on fine. Alright, so this is where it goes. So we go to the structure tab again and select rebar, and then put one here. Ctrl Z. We'll go downwards towards here, and then I'll put one over here. Alright, Ctrl Z again. So this needs to be placed on the third one from the left, according to the AutoCAD file. So we'll be putting one over here, and then after that we have another one on the third row. Alright, so go over here and place it on this point. And then from this direction, put it on the third one from the right. Alright, so now I'll select this, and then I'll rotate it using space. After that, we'll go to the 3D. Here, I'll put this on solid again. So go to the Sophistic tool and put this on visibility set to solid. Alright, so if I rotate the plan, we'll see we'll have one over here, and then another one here, and the last one, let me just delete this, and the third one is this. Select all of them, then here from the layout menu, put this on maximum spacing, and set the distance or the spacing on 15 centimeters. And there we go. So using this method, we can place the rebars in the columns. So now there is a possibility that this part is completely similar to here. So I'll explain more about this